I'm Holly Vincent with the Cleveland State Marketing Department, and we're here on the first day of school, and we're so excited to have Governor Bill Haslam on campus today. He's going to be speaking to the FYS classes and the Tennessee Promise students, and here he is now.
Hey everybody, how are you all? Nice to see you. Thanks. Oh, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah,
Nice
feel
to
very
meet you.
welcome. Thanks. Oh, Governor. Hello, Doctor. Nice to see you. Thanks for doing all this for us today.
Special day.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh, thanks for putting Cleveland State on your schedule.
It's first place.
Yeah, a lot of you. You ready to get started?
I'm ready if you are.
Come on.
Timing work.
I'm good. How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Well, good afternoon and welcome everybody. This is one special day, and they're all here with a special T-shirt together. We're going to show you that later. But here's some. You got print on the back.
Oh, wow.
Tennessee Promise, first class. Thanks, good.
Wow.
Okay.
I want one of those T-shirts.
Thanks, guys.
Look at it.
Thank you.
So today is our first year seminar class. This is a class, Governor, that Cleveland State has been doing for the past couple of years. It has proven to be extra special in terms of supporting our new students. We've shown great success in terms of their retention. Students that take this class have shown that we increase our retention from fall to fall by about 15 to 20% over the students that don't take this class. So Cleveland State is the first community college in the state of Tennessee this year to actually require it of all students. I know students don't like hearing the word required, but we believe so importantly about this class. We know that it's going to help you not only become acclimated to Cleveland State, but really understand the skills that are necessary to be successful in college. So I want you to know that you're part of something special. That's why we invited you together here to be part of this class. But this isn't the normal class setting, but we kind of pulled a few sections together to greet you here today. But I want to introduce Dr. Ryan Thompson, who is a associate professor of history. He's our first year seminar coordinator. And he's going to talk a little bit about this class to both the students and the governor, get a better understanding about what you're going to be experiencing this semester. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. I've been asked to introduce you to the two important concepts, two really important programs that you're going to benefit greatly from as students. Because our main goal here at Cleveland State, as at any college, is to help you get from here to here. We want to help you graduate. It's not just enough to get you on campus, but we want you to be successful while you're here. The Tennessee Promise program is based to some earlier programs, one that we had actually here in Bradley County several years ago. It was funded in large part by Alan Jones, a fantastic philanthropist here in Cleveland, and it helped hundreds of students get onto campus, get into the campus. And it was based in large part to a very similar, very successful program in Knox County as well. Now, those two programs were so successful they were widely replicated throughout the state. And by 2014, Tennessee Achieves had basically expanded the size and the scope of those two programs that started out at a very small scale. And by 2014, it helped over 12,000 students get into college, students that otherwise wouldn't have been able to afford to go to college. And the reason they were so successful is not just because they provided money, but they partnered with a very strong mentoring relationship. That each student that went not only received some additional funding, some additional money to be able to go to college, but they also received instruction from people who'd been there, graduates, that had gone through the process and could help them through the sometimes difficult process of enrolling and going through and getting support through their college careers. And then last year, Tennessee Promise was launched due in large part to the leadership of Governor Haslam, thank you very much, with additional state funding to make this even more widely accessible and to help more of our students achieve the dream of a college education. Now, what those programs in Tennessee Promise, what they provide is they provide the opportunity for students to get to campus. What we do here at Cleveland State then is to try and help you bring you on campus and then even help you graduate with a degree in whatever you hope your career will eventually be. The FYS program is something that we started about 3 years ago, and we decided that not just faculty, not just staff, but in reaching out to students and former graduates to try and see what sort of program can we implement here on campus to continue to help student retention and student success. And based on similar types of programs that have had tremendous success here in Tennessee, as well as across the nation, and reading the reviews and the research that's been done, we decided on what is sometimes referred to as an FYS, or a first-year seminar program. And what it is it's a class that goes over a variety of these topics that you see listed up here. I'm going to go in great depth and detail on all of those. That's what we have the entire semester to do. But we cover a number of topics that are extremely important for incoming freshmen to know. When we received our initial training, one of the questions was, what's the difference between a graduating senior and a freshman in college? And the answer is 3 months. There's no magical portal or door that people pass that all of a sudden give them all the skills and attributes necessary to be successful students. So we spend time in the first couple of weeks talking about how do you approach a textbook differently? How do you read that differently than, say, a mystery book or a mystery novel? Okay? What are some techniques? Students are a lot of times worried about how hard the exam's going to be. Well, different exams require different sorts of studying strategies. So we talk about those and we practice those to help students be as successful as possible. There's, I don't know, a single instructor that wants a student to fail. We want you to succeed, and that's what this program does. Three of the major components that really tie in and reinforce what the Tennessee Promise is trying to provide and what some of the requirements are. The first is time management. Okay? As new college students or returning college students, many of our students are juggling a lot of different things in their life. They're juggling family requirements. They're juggling jobs, part-time, sometimes full-time positions. They're juggling a new schedule that's not consistent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Class schedules vary depending on the day of the week. Additional lab time, sometimes evening classes. Additional study that's required. We require a little bit more homework usually than most high school classes, and so the expectation is you spend additional time outside of class in addition to in class. And so we talk about ways to manage that. We work with calendars and planners and show different types of apps based on what you feel will work best for you. Some people prefer paper planners, some people prefer using their iPhones. Doesn't matter. We help you figure out what's going to work best for you so you can keep track of all of your work commitments, all of your assignments, all of your tests, all of your class, as well as your family responsibilities and things in that nature. The second major thing we do is we want to make sure that you know where you're going, that you have a plan moving forward. A lot of freshmen come in with a pretty certain idea of what they want to be. They want to be a veterinarian or a doctor or a lawyer, and that's fantastic. A lot, not quite sure, or they get in one of their classes and decide, this isn't quite for me. So there's a number of tests that we have the students take. One of them is called the focus test. It helps you identify what are some of your skills, what are some of your talents, what are some of the things you like to do, and it matches up possible careers that maybe you haven't thought about, maybe you have thought about, but thought, I wouldn't really be good at that. But it helps you identify possible career paths, and we can kind of go from there. We also spend time in one of the computer labs to actually sit down with you and work with you one-on-one, or sometimes 1 and 2, 1 and 3, sometimes we have little groups, and we help you set up a semester-by-semester schedule. Based on your work schedule and what you hope to do, here's the class that you're going to take this semester, and the next semester, and the following semester. What we want to do is, when you leave class that week, we want to have a completed plan that you can then take to your advisor and say, this is my proposed route to graduation. If I follow this step-by-step process, I'll finish all these classes, and I'll graduate in spring of 2018. You visit with the advisor just to fine-tune and make sure, yes, we do offer those classes in the spring, or we need to flip that around just a little bit. But you work out, and you hammer out the rough draft of the graduation plan, and you fine-tune with an advisor as well. The third thing, the third major component, is out-of-service learning. One of the most important components of the scholarship that many of you have received is that you provide 8 hours of service learning. This is a picture from one of the boot camps we had just this past week. Some of my students in the class, we were out cleaning the Greenway, local recreation area here in Cleveland. And not only did we go along and work with one of the local agencies that focus on cleanup of water, natural resources and that, who provide some materials, but we cleaned out the forest, the walkways, as well as part of the creek. And the reason we included it within the FYS program is to make sure that that doesn't set you up for failure, that you don't forget to do the service learning. The FYS requires that you do that, so it works hand in hand with the scholarship to make sure that you've completed that component of the scholarship as well. Our service learning coordinator comes in, helps you fill out all the paperwork, and helps you get registered for a local website that's been put together by Braun County service agencies. They'll provide you a list of all the different types of service that's located within the 5 counties that Cleveland State serves. And once you're registered, you can then easily check up for additional service for your next semester when you come back and do another 8 hours coming back in the spring. I also provide you all the opportunities if you want to provide additional service over the summer and throughout your career and after your time here at Cleveland State. Now, the President already mentioned a few of the major points, the major successes that we found with the FYS program. We found that those students who have successfully completed FYS usually have a higher GPA overall than those students who have, based on the last 2 years' worth of data. Usually about 3 to 4% higher. The better retention rates, what that means to you is that students that complete the FYS program are more likely to come back for the next semester and then to come back the next fall. And that's really the only way to complete college, is to continue attending college and finish those classes out. So those students are returning at rates of between 15 and 20%, depending on some of the different groups that we've studied. So we know this is something that works. We knew that it worked based on the research we've done before we started the program, but we have our own data, and we've worked with our own students, and we've implemented the plan here, and we know that it works here on Cleveland State. So these are some of the steps that we're now taking to further improve the experience and make it even better for you. Some of you have taken the boot camp, and the boot camp is basically just a 2-week condensation of this entire class. We invited past students to come in as peer mentors to also work with them and give their advice and experience. Thank you.
Dr. Thompson, thank you very much. So these are all Tennessee Promise students. Would you like to say a few words to them? Or
I'd love to. Yeah, thanks. So first of all, thank you. We've been looking forward to this day for a long time when we first started talking about the idea. Let me ask you a couple questions here. How many of you are the first person in your family to go to college? And how many of you already know, here's what I want to do? Okay, good stuff. And how many of you does that include going on to a 4-year school after this? Well, great. Well, we are really excited about the possibility, and you guys, like I said, are the very first class of something that we've planned and worked for and hoped would happen for a long time. So for me, this is a little bit like Christmas morning, of looking forward to something and then seeing how it really happens. I do want to recognize a couple of folks who are here. Everybody, I appreciate that the shirts say "Thanks, Gov" and all that, but the truth is, the governor can't really do hardly anything by himself or herself. The General Assembly are the legislators that you helped elect. Helped us get this passed, approved it in the budget, and 2 of those are here. Representative Kevin Brooks, here, thanks Kevin. Kevin played a big part in the role when we passed the Tennessee Promise. And Representative Dan Howell as well, 2 of your Cleveland area state representatives, so I'm very grateful for them. Anybody have a question you'd like to ask me? If the governor happened to walk into your class the very first day of college, what would you ask him? Anybody? Yes. Well, first of all, you have to ask a question. You got there's a prize. You have to tell me your name and if you know what you're going to study. If you don't worry about it.
Okay, my name is Zach Vandenberg. I'm studying criminal justice. I just want to know what you study in college.
That's a great question. I actually studied history because at the time I was planning on being a teacher. I was thinking I was going to be like 2 doctors here. I was thinking I would teach. Ended up changing my plan, ended up in business, and I'm doing this. But at the time I thought I was going to teach. Great question. What else? Anybody? Yes.
How difficult was it to start with Tennessee Promise?
You know, it's kind of like a lot of things. It was kind of, we came up with this idea like, what if there's a program a little bit they talked about, what did they call the Cleveland program that Alan did? Bradley Cheese. We had a program in Knoxville called Knox and Cheese when I used to be the mayor of Knoxville before I was governor. And so we came up with the idea of like, what if we could say that everybody in the state, if you graduate from high school, you can go to college free. So we kind of started with the idea and then started working back. And we had to figure out how to pay for it, and then we had to get it approved by the legislature as well. So it was hard, but kind of all along, once we kind of came to the concept, we thought there's a path here to make this happen. I have a question. You can ask, we're going to take turns, so you get to ask questions, and I get to ask questions. Who had the best, like, who had an 8-hour, when you did your community service? Anybody have an experience that you want to share with me? Anybody have something they really like doing? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead up here, yes, sir.
Well, I help tutor children over at the school. I help teach them music and also teach them how to march and how to.
Oh, cool. At which school?
Copper Basin High School.
Oh, good. So, and you've been in the band and did the music high? Oh, good. That's right. That's a good one. That's right. Anybody else have a yes?
Oh, I have a question.
All right. I'll come back to you next. Anybody else have a member? Yeah. All right. Community service. Yeah.
Well, I'm an Eagle Scout, and for my Eagle project, I built an outboard activity center for my church.
Oh, good. All right. You get your turn to ask a question.
My name is Anna Marie Simpson, and I'm majoring in business. And my question to you is, how many years do you think that we can take the United States and have free school for everybody?
In terms of making it work all across the country, it's a really good question. So, the president had a proposal that I think he actually flattered the name that he called America's Promise or something like that. They've got to figure out how to get it through Congress, and getting something through Congress is a chore these days, and then how to pay for it. So the way they were talking about doing it, I think it'll be a little bit more expensive. So my guess is it's a ways away, but there are 2 or 3 states that have already started copying this, either Oregon or Washington. They start slowly copying us, but the states can kind of get it done. The federal government's got where it's a little harder to get things done. We won't have to rely on them. Okay, yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay, Governor, is it true that most of the money, the funding for the Tennessee Promise was from the Tennessee Lottery?
Well, we took some money out of the Tennessee Lottery. Basically, was set up. Who knows how many years ago? 15. So about 15 years ago. And the idea was it would fund the Hope Scholarships, which a lot of people get to help people pay for college. What we noticed is that it was a great program, and it kept a lot of Tennesseans going to school in Tennessee and helped people pay. But it actually didn't increase the percentage of Tennesseans who were going to college. So the number actually did move of people who said when they finished high school, I want to go into college. This was an idea of a way to make it broader. So we took some money that was in there that they had in surplus, and then we used that to start, basically start an investment account and endowment. And the interest off that endowment basically is one of the big sources for Tennessee Promise. Yes, sir, back in the back.
Okay, my name's Jonathan Rimmons. I'm kind of wondering, how long have you all had this idea for Tennessee Promise?
I'll tell you, church, how it works. Somebody came, like I said, we copied it after what started while I was mayor in Knoxville called Knox and Cheese. But here's where I should give you the rest of the story. So it started while I was mayor, but when they first brought the idea to me, I thought it was a bad idea. Oh, I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we should. And these people kept pushing, and they figured out a way to start what became Knox and Cheese. That would have been 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And so we saw how well it worked with the percentage of Knox County kids who graduated from high school, and the number of kids who went on to college just increased dramatically. And so that kind of became the first idea. And even when I ran for governor 4.5 years ago, I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind as I went around the state, like, there's bits and pieces, like you have Bradley and Chiefs, there's different things. I wonder if we can make it happen all across the state. All right, my turn to ask a question. How many people in here had a mentor that you think you'll actually keep up with throughout this next year? In terms of the mentor who worked with you. Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you this: everything you've done with Tennessee Promise so far, I realize this is just your first day of school. What recommendations for change? Do you think you'd say, hey, this is really great, but it would help if you would fill in the blank? Anybody have something? Any changes that you'd recommend to us? Perfect. All right. No. All right. Well, I'll come back sometime and let you. I'll let you ask that again. I'll let you ask that again. All right. I think we got 1 minute. Or are we done?
I think another minute's fine. Any last questions, folks?
Anybody last question for me or
If
comment?
the media wants to kind of head out and get ahead of us,
We'll let them do that. All right, well, thank you all very much. We're really excited about this, and I look forward to seeing a lot of you all at graduation.
Out of your
You'll be fine. Don't pass out. Still on me.
break it down. I'll break it down. This kind of worked out well in our schedule today because we actually have about a half hour where there's no classes. So I think most of the campus is going to turn out, kind of walk between here and the student center. They're all waiting for the next class.
Yeah.
We decided to do this in the student center. It could be a great little venue, but we'll have to do it all of our Tennessee farmer students.
No, you're fine.
Some Periscope. Yeah. Account? Cleveland State. Cleveland State, okay.
on.
Excuse us, sorry. Excuse us. Sorry.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Well, it works really well. My name is Bill Seymour, and I'm proud to be the president here at Cleveland State Community College, a college that's been serving Southeast Tennessee for nearly 50 years. Today is a very special day. Now, let's hear it for Today is a special day because this is the first day that our students are back on campus for a new academic year, but it's also really important because today is the first day that Tennessee Promise students are here on campus taking their classes. And it's even more special because we're fortunate to have Governor Haslam with us here today to mark this historic occasion and celebrate the official commencement of a program that is changing higher education in our state for the better and leading the nation in a new movement. But since, well, I started here in January of 2014, I think it was just 2 or 3 weeks after I started that Governor Haslam provided his State of the State address, where he gave his vision for Tennessee Promise. And I knew right then this was a good time to be a president of a community college. But since that day, Cleveland State has been intentionally and strategically planning for this very day. I think we'll all agree that while it is important to get students to apply for Tennessee Promise and arrive here at our doors, it's even more important that we do everything possible to make sure that they're successful and they complete their programs here at this college. I'm pleased to say that the Cleveland State faculty and staff have risen to the challenge. They have been innovative and diligent to ensure we provide the best possible learning environment that will support and encourage all students to achieve their goals. But today really is all about the students. This morning I'm pleased to have 2 brand new Cleveland State students to speak with us. Both are here because they're Tennessee Promise scholars. I have to tell you I'm pretty impressed with these 2 folks because here it is, the first day of school, they haven't gotten through it, they're going to come up here and speak in front of all of you, so I'm pretty impressed with these folks. First, I would like to introduce Haley Hodgson, a recent graduate from Cleveland High School. Haley, come on up.
Good afternoon. My name is Haley Hodgson, and I'm a proud Tennessee Promise Scholarship recipient. I've lived in Cleveland, Tennessee my whole life, and I'm a graduate of Cleveland High School. I started my college search in the middle of my junior year, and after looking at the cost of tuition alone, not even considering the other fees, I knew I'd have to take out student loans each semester. This potential debt was really stressful to my family because they knew I was looking to them for financial assistance in order to attend college. It was about midway through my senior year when I heard about Tennessee Promise for the first time. It was such a blessing and a relief to know I could finish my first 2 years debt-free. The Tennessee Promise meetings really helped me stay on top of my FAFSA and college applications, and my mentor made sure I had all the information I needed to maintain my scholarship and make sure I was enrolled correctly. I'd already been considering Cleveland State because of their softball program, but this scholarship really helped me make my decision. By choosing Cleveland State Community College, I knew I would be receiving a great education and being able to fulfill my dream of being a college athlete. When I transfer to a 4-year university after I graduate, I will be able to complete my elementary education degree at half the cost I would have paid if Tennessee Promise had not been created. I am looking forward to telling my future students about how fortunate I was to receive a tuition-free education and share with them the promise that Tennessee has also made to them. Knowing that the students I will teach 4 years from now, like me, will not be kept from furthering their education because of financial issues is comforting to me, and I'm sure to their families. So thank you, Governor Haslam and members of the legislature for this incredible opportunity. I'm honored to be a member of the first class of Tennessee Promise Scholarship recipients.
Thank you, Haley. And now I'd like to introduce Matthew Bryant, a new Tennessee Promise student from Walker Valley High School. Matthew.
Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Braun, and I graduated from Walker Valley High School in May of 2015. I'd like to say a few words to you about my mentor, Dr. Hayes. He has been very helpful in regards to transitioning from high school to college. He has kept in touch with me not only on the important paperwork aspect of it, but also furthering my career in the workforce. Dr. Hayes had helped me set up a local physician internship with a guy named Dr. Moz at Physicians First for my interest in medicine. That opportunity was so great to me because obviously I want to go into medicine, but it gives me a viewpoint from not only a patient standpoint, but a doctor's standpoint. And that viewpoint's hard to get, especially since you don't have any knowledge in the medical field. That helps you so much. And that was one of the things that he did for me that was so wonderful. And it also will help make me successful in college and even in the workforce. Tennessee Promise is helping to further me at a low-cost budget, especially since it's very hard to pay for college nowadays. And it helps me not have to worry about the burden of debt. The opportunities that Tennessee Promise gives to a high school graduate is just amazing. Being able to receive the Tennessee Promise and not have to worry about paying for it is just remarkable. And I want to thank Governor Haslam and the state legislature for being able to bring that to Tennessee. And I hope that that can prosper in other states. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Easily, the most asked question I received over the past year is, what will your enrollment be this fall? For months, all I can say is, I really don't know. But today, I'm pleased that our first day enrollment is up. Let's hear it. Our FTE, or full-time equivalent number, is up 6.5% today over last year. And that's for all students, new and returning. The increase, however, is all due to the growth of new students. Let me share some numbers that we had last week that may be a little bit different this week, but we're still updating them daily. Our total number of freshmen this year is up 16% over 2014. And the number of new freshmen coming specifically from the 11 high schools that we interact with in our service area is up 24%. So let's hear it for that change. Keep in mind that this growth comes after 4 years of decreasing enrollments, so it's clear that Tennessee Promise is making a big difference here at Cleveland State and in our communities. You may be wondering who these fine-looking students are standing behind me. These are Cleveland State's first class of Presidential Honors Scholars, and they are all Tennessee Promise students. Let's hear it for them. We all had dinner last night, and I told them we had one job, and that was to stand behind me, but they have one other job. Guys, I know it's sometimes rude to turn your backs on guests, but in this case, we will make an exception because I want everybody to see the backs of your t-shirts. So would you please turn around? Tennessee Promise, first class. Thanks, Doug. Governor, your vision and leadership mean a great deal for the students, their families, the faculty, staff, and our communities. The Gov also represents all of our state legislatures. We appreciate you so much and all the work that you've done to make this happen. I want to thank the governor's staff, Mike Krause specifically, everybody at Tennessee Achieves, Chrissy D. Alejandro, Chancellor Morgan, our regents. We have some represented here today, all the folks at TBR, and thousands of mentors who have supported these students along the way. It's been a big team effort. I also want to say a special thank you to Alan Jones. Unfortunately, Alan got called out of town and couldn't be here today. But Alan and his wife Jeannie have almost single-handedly supported the Bradley Achieves program here for the past few years, so we owe them a great bit of gratitude, and their work has really helped promote the whole concept of Tennessee Promise. Governor Haslam, as you come to the podium, from all of us here at Cleveland State, we want to say thank you, and by doing so, we want to say, thanks, Gov, thanks, Gov, thanks, Gov, thanks, Gov.
Well, thank you. Wow, what a welcome. This has been impressive. When Dr. Seymour and I walked over from the other building, and a lot of y'all were nice enough to form this kind of human corridor clapping, and Dr. Seymour looked at me and said, don't worry, they do this for me every day. This is the culmination of first a dream, and then a vision, and then a plan to provide a whole different opportunity for a lot of people in Tennessee. Of the folks that are here in blue shirts, the students, how many of you all are the first person in your family to go to college, to go to school beyond high school? So that's really impressive. What we want to do in Tennessee is make certain that we give everybody an opportunity to fulfill their whole potential. But we also want to make certain that all these companies that are coming to Tennessee have the workers they need. And this was all motivated by a realization that just 10 years from now, all the jobs that will exist out there, 55% of them will require a degree, either a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree or a certificate to get one of those jobs. Unfortunately, Tennessee at the time was like 32% of the population had a degree or certificate. So we knew we had to do something to dramatically change it. So we came up with the idea, what if we could tell every high school senior and every kindergartner who was starting school last week or this week, we'll guarantee you 2 years of community college or technical school absolutely free of charge. So we started with the dream and the vision, and then we worked backwards to see if we could make the math work to have it happen. And you all in blue shirts today represent the culmination of a dream. I told a class that I spoke to right before this is like Christmas morning that you've looked forward to for a long time, of students actually having the chance to go to school. I really appreciate the Thanks Gov t-shirt, but that's not quite totally how it works. The governor can propose something, but you really need the legislature to come with you to make the budget work and approve the plan. And I want to thank several of those members of the legislature who are here today. See, Senator Todd Gardner are here. Thank you, Senator, for being here. Representative Dan Howell, Representative Kevin Brooks, Representative Patsy Hazelwood, and I think Gerald McCormick might be here as well. But please help me thank them for their part in making certain. Really short sermon, and I promise it'll be short because I know it's full and it's warm and you all are tired of standing up here in front of all these people. The whole idea, though, was not about just access. It's not about you just getting here. The idea is about success. Dr. Seymour is exactly right. The idea is literally about completion. And so we want to do everything we can to make that happen. You've done a great job. You've done 8 hours of community service to get here. You've worked with your mentor. You've filled out an incredible number of financial aid forms and other things. But now our object is to have you graduate. And I want to recognize there's several folks here. This is part of just the whole continuum of opportunity around education in Tennessee. Steve is here for you. Steve, a new chancellor at UT. I guess you're not so new anymore now, right? Wow, okay. From UTC, thank you so much for being here. Stuart Smith is here from TCAT Athens. Thank you so much for being here. And Dr. Tidings, the new President of Chattanooga State, thank you so much for being here as well. So, here's the deal. We could not be more excited about today. We could not be more excited about all of you who are in blue shirts and the chance to get the education, the preparation you need to do whatever it is that you have decided that you want to pursue. Our ask is this, that you would make certain you do everything you can to actually get this degree. And then if you decide to go on and get a four-year degree, that's great. If you want to go on to work, that's great as well. Well, we could not be more excited about today, but we're really, really excited about being back here for a graduation. And I would love to be the graduation speaker for the first Tennessee Promise. I'm making a deal here, okay? I'll be the first graduation speaker for this class. So, thank you all very much. I'm really proud of you. I hope you have a great semester.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. Thanks for turning out. Have a great year. We appreciate it.